All right. First up is planning. And the first thing on our agenda is public hearing. Are you guys ready? Okay, would you call the?
We're ready.
Administrator Anderson,
Here.
Attorney McLaren,
Here.
Commissioner Lindsay,
Here.
Commissioner Candelaria,
Here.
Commissioner Copenhaver.
Here.
Notice is hereby given that the Montezuma County Board of County Commissioners will hold a public hearing for a review and determination of a proposed subdivision amendment application to the Boren Single Lot Development submitted by Joshua and Gina Boren on property located at 15865 Highway 145, Dolores, Colorado, consisting of 5.02 acres more or less, situated in Section 30, Township 37, Range 15 West, N.M.P.M. The hearing will be held Tuesday, March 28, 2023 at 9 a.m. in the Commissioners' Hearing Room, Montezuma County Administrative Offices, 109 West Main Street, Cortez, Colorado. Interested persons may attend and give input. Information may be obtained from the Planning Office online services at https://co.montezuma.co.smartgovcommunity.com/public/home. You may also contact the Planning Department at 970-565-2801 with questions. Dated the 16th day of February 2023. Kim Purcell, Clerk, Board of County Commissioners, Montezuma County, Colorado, published in the Journal on Wednesday, March 15th, 2023.
All right, thank you. Okay, Don, do we have the applicants? Good morning.
Morning.
Okay.
So
Would you like to
the
give us the
Borens are
overview?
applying to amend their single lot development off of Highway 184. Adding, 145. They're just adding a small sliver there on the west end of the single lot development from their other property.
Pretty straightforward.
This one's straightforward. That utility easement on the north stays where it is and continues on through the added parcel.
Okay. Would you like to add anything?
I don't think so.
Okay. All right. Commissioners, any questions before I open this up?
No, I think it's,
Okay, well then, at this time, I will open this meeting up for a public comment. Anybody wishing to speak for or against this application, please come forward to the podium, state your name and address for the record prior to providing your comments, and you may address the board at this time. Okay, seeing no comments, I'll close the public comment session of this hearing, and I will bring it back to the commissioners.
I have nothing to add. I would so move that we approve the proposed subdivision amendment application to the Boren Single Lot Development submitted by Joshua and Gina Boren on property located at 15865 Highway 145, Dolores, Colorado.
Second.
Okay, any further discussion? I think the only thing that I want to make a note of here is that this is just to clean it up so that we are compliant with the land use code. And I
Correct.
appreciate that. Thank you. I really do appreciate that. It's a lot easier to get it cleaned up so that it is compliant and go down the road in the right way. So I do appreciate your efforts. Thank you. So it's been moved and seconded to accept the proposed subdivision amendment application to the Boren Single Lot Development submitted by Joshua and Gina Boren on property located at 15865 Highway 145, Dolores, Colorado, consisting of 5.02 acres more or less. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, I'll close this public hearing, and you are approved. Thank you.
You're also on number 2.
Okay, well.
But you
my-
have to wait.
Huh? Have to wait. Not 9:10 yet.
We do have
We saw
Do you have
couple
those?
of plats
Yeah.
here that we can have signed.
Bring them out. Roll them out. Which would be item 3 and 4, correct, Don? Or 2 and 3?
2 and 3.
Yeah. Okay.
Make Lefty mad.
I did turn on the sign, it's not official, so I just. There we go. We didn't have a sign on, is it okay? Are we legal? If I turn on the sign? Yes. Oh, I know, God, hey. The sign wasn't on, man.
Just do it there.
Sign says.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Sign. You know, only around here could we have a sign like this. This is a remote control.
Okay,
We just have it on and off.
being at 9:10, we do have scheduled another public
Maybe
hearing
we could turn it.
at this time, so would you go ahead and call the roll, please?
Administrator Anderson,
Here.
Attorney McLaren.
Here.
Commissioner Lindsey,
Here.
Commissioner Candelaria,
Here.
Commissioner Copenhaver.
Here.
Notice is hereby given that the Montezuma County Board of County Commissioners will hold a public hearing for review and determination of a proposed amendment application to High Impact Permit Number 562 submitted by Josh and Gina Boren on property located at 15865 Highway 145, Dolores, Colorado, consisting of 5.02 acres, more or less, situated in Section 30, Township 37 North, Range 15 West, N.M.P.M. The hearing will be held Tuesday, March 28th, 2023, at 9:10 a.m. in the Commissioners' Hearing Room, Montezuma County Administrative Offices, 109 West Main Street, Cortez, Colorado. Interested persons may attend and give input. Information may be obtained from the Planning Office, online, service at https://co.montezuma.co.smartgovcommunity.com/public/home. You may also contact the Planning Department at 970-565-2801 with questions. Dated the 16th day of February 2023. Kim Purcell, Board of County Commissioners, Montezuma County. Published in the Journal on Wednesday, March 15, 2023.
Okay, thank you, Melinda. Okay, Don, overview.
Yes, the Borens have an existing high-impact permit. That was for the 4 storage units on the eastern part of the single lot development. They've since added 3 more storage units and are amending the high-impact permit to incorporate those structures, those buildings.
Okay. Would you like to add anything?
I don't think so.
Okay. Commissioners, any questions?
No. Nothing from the neighbors?
Nope,
CDOT?
no problems, no comments, no issues that we're aware of.
All right. Okay, well, being that, I will open this up for public comment. Anybody wishing to speak for or against this application, come forward to the podium, state your name and address for the record prior to providing your comments, and you may address the board. Okay, seeing none, I'll close the public comment session of this hearing and bring it back to the commissioners, gentlemen.
Well, I have nothing further.
How long have you owned this?
20 years.
From when it started?
2008, 15 years.
Okay.
Anything else?
Well, it just, I was here when it went through the first time, so, and there was,
I remember.
Oh,
yeah, it
that's
was a bit
right.
different.
Yeah, it would have been.
yeah, no. I mean, if the neighbors are not having any problems with it, I'm fine with it, because there was, quote, some concern when you did put that in there to begin with, I know. So, that's all. But if they're,
We're 2/3 of the neighbors.
Yeah.
You have any problems with this?
No? Well, occasionally, but I can get them resolved. So.
no, if the neighbors are not having any concerns with it, I don't see any problem with it personally. I move to approve the proposed amendment application for high impact permit number 562 submitted by Josh Gina Boren on property located at 15865 Highway 145, Dolores, Colorado.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to accept the proposed amendment application to the high-impact permit number 562 submitted by Josh and Gina Boren on property located at 15865 Highway 145, Dolores, Colorado, consisting of 5.02 acres, more or less. Any further discussion?
No.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, I will close the public hearing at this time. Motion carried. You are approved. Thank you all.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right.
We could probably go ahead and do item number 1.
Okay,
It's kind of a straightforward issue
discussion.
on
All
the
right,
boundary
we'll
line
move to-
adjustment.
We'll move to item number 1. Don, if you want to go ahead and give us an overview on that. Travis, you can pull it up.
Yes, so Janice Lyons and her neighbors, Albert and Donna Colcord, who live at the property to the north, at the far north end, they are doing a boundary line adjustment with the Lyons property. She is conveying, well, she's actually keeping a little over 3 acres and conveying the rest to the Colcords. They're on the north.
Okay.
They already reside at the residence there on the north, and she lives at the property on the south. But it's just too much for her to try and take care of, so
Since her husband passed?
she's conveying the eastern part and then the strip connecting to their property there on the north.
Gotcha. Pretty straightforward again, letting
Yeah.
the neighbors take over taking
them-
care of the property where she can't do it anymore.
Correct.
Do you guys have any questions?
No,
I don't.
Do you want to move down to the map, Travis? Okay. All right, no other questions? What's your pleasure?
So that little angle over piece is just because of the pond there? Is
Correct.
that what it was for? Okay.
you have anything, Gerald?
No, I'm fine with
Okay.
it. It's just they're just trading properties.
Right. I would so move we approve the proposed two-lot moderate subdivision application submitted by Travis.
Down one.
Sorry,
Item 1.
item 1, too far down. Withdraw that. I would so move we approve the boundary line adjustment application submitted by Janice Lyons and Albert and Donna Colcord on property located at 5732 Road 25, Cortez, Colorado.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to accept the boundary line adjustment application submitted by Janice Lyons and Albert and Donna Colcord on property located at 5732 Road 25, Cortez, Colorado, consisting of 9.9 acres more or less. Any further discussion?
No.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Okay. And then we have another public hearing. Do you have the applicants here, Don? We'll go ahead and get them.
Yeah, they're here.
Oh, okay.
Sure, come on up.
Just depends on which clock I look at.
Yeah. 3 different time zones, I guess.
Give me
China
my
clock
30
says 10 seconds.
Okay, we're good now. It's 9:20, so we'll
We
go
can't
ahead
see
and
that one, we don't know.
start this public hearing. Would you call the roll, Melinda?
Administrator Anderson,
Here.
Attorney McLaren,
Here.
Commissioner Lindsay,
Here.
Commissioner Candelaria,
Here.
Commissioner Copenhaver.
Here.
Notice is hereby given that the Montezuma County Board of County Commissioners will hold a public hearing for review and determination of a proposed two-lot moderate subdivision application submitted by Travis and Keisha White on property located at 38645 Highway 160, Mancos, Colorado, consisting of 9.94 acres, more or less, located north of Highway 160, situated in Section 36, Township 36 North, Range 14 West, N.M.P.M. The hearing will be held Tuesday, March 28th, 2023 at 9:20 a.m. in the Commissioners' Hearing Room, Montezuma County Administrative Offices, 109 West Main Street, Cortez, Colorado. Interested persons may attend and give input. Information may be obtained from the Planning Office, online service at https://co-montezuma-co.smartgovcommunity.com/public/home. You may also contact the Planning Department at 970-565-2801 with questions. Dated the 16th day of February, 2023. Kim Purcell, Clerk, Board of County Commissioners, Montezuma County, Colorado. Published in the Journal on Wednesday, March 15, 2023.
All right, thank you, Melinda. Okay, Don?
So the Whites are looking to split off the 3-acre parcel there at the the southwest corner of their property. They are planning on selling that, and has a CDOT access permit been submitted?
They're still working.
Okay. They are, the future owners are planning to submit a CDOT access permit for a driveway, but that's not guaranteed, so the Whites will dedicate an access utility easement from their driveway there on the south of their residence to that parcel, should the access permit not be approved from
So
CDOT.
along the yellow line that we're looking at, close to 160, is that where the easement would be?
No, it would be from their driveway. There's a combination access permit to the Hogan, their residence, there at the northeast corner of the property. And then their driveway swings south of their existing residence. That would continue into the 3-acre parcel for access and utilities. Or utilities along the road could run back to a new residence there, but
So has that been dedicated at this point? Or it's gonna be dedicated in the event that?
it'll be dedicated on the plat. Either
Okay.
way,
Okay.
because we can't guarantee
Yep.
what CDOT's gonna do.
So it will be on the plat now, though?
Correct.
Okay, gotcha.
Okay. All right, would you like to add anything?
No, sir.
All right, commissioners?
What about water?
Pardon me?
Is there a water tap with it? Do you have a water?
No. They're purchasing one.
There's
It's
not one
available.
currently there, but it
It's
is available
available.
to
Yeah.
purchase.
Yeah.
There was an old one that they sold, so it's set up for water.
The water company did not have any problems putting water there.
Yeah, the only problem I see here is, which we know the 800-pound gorilla that's gonna be in the room on this one,
CDOT.
which probably not gonna get that access.
The people that are buying it, they swear up and down they can get it, so.
Well, I truly wish him good luck, because that's not been,
I
that's
keep
not
saying.
been what
I don't know
we've
if he
seen.
knows someone better than we do, but
No, it's just pretty tough, because they want to eliminate all the accesses onto the highways because of traffic safety, so they've been pretty tough about giving any kind of accesses onto the highway at all, other than what currently exists. And then they usually have a count that goes along with that, because now you're adding more traffic out of the existing driveway or the existing access, so. Do we haven't gotten anything from CDOT at all?
No. But that's a commercial access to
Right.
the Hogan, so they can't really exclude
Right.
one or two other cars.
And you said it's a commercial access. How does,
Yeah, to the Hogan.
the business right
Yeah.
beside
To the
it.
Hogan, Cowboy Coffee and their residents. Those are all existing.
so I don't know the conditions of a commercial access from CDOT. I mean, I guess my concern would be, and maybe it's, again, I just don't know the conditions, but my concern would be if you've got a residential person accessing that or using that access, that could be problematic per CDOT. I don't know. That's really in CDOT's court.
It's already
It's
a
already for
a
residents.
combination, one for their.
And so
their-
I just don't know the terms of that access
Right.
permit. I mean, I don't
It-
know if that access permit is a commercial and access for one residence, or if it's commercial and access for two residences. I mean, I don't know. I haven't seen it.
With the commercial business there, they don't have a traffic count, a limit, because you can't govern how many people will or won't pull in a day.
And there's no contingency for the number of residential users that could utilize that commercial access?
It's not stated on there from what I recall.
How long has CDOT had to respond to this? 45
2
days like
months,
normal?
yeah,
60 days?
probably,
They've had at least 5 to 6 weeks.
'cause this, yeah. But I mean, we haven't had responses from last year on stuff.
No, I know, that's,
Typical.
like I said, the 800-pound gorilla in the room.
So, I mean, I'm not trying to be difficult. This seems pretty straightforward to me. It's obvious that there is an access off of the highway. I just don't want to make any sort of representation as to you know, what that access is good for or what it's not good for, having not seen the access permit or communicated with CDOT. That's my only concern.
I would suggest that if CDOT had any concerns, they would have raised them by now.
Per our land use code, they have 10 days to respond, or
it.
you
Yeah.
move by them and past them and then move on.
And I usually give agencies 3 weeks.
It is an interesting question though, because the land use code also requires that we guarantee that there's access there. So, I mean, just a failure to respond on the part of CDOT doesn't necessarily mean
Right.
that access is guaranteed. So, I mean, it kind of cuts both ways.
Yes.
Again, I'm not trying to be,
Yeah, the new access, we can't guarantee, but the existing access,
Right.
Right, and I
I mean,
think
you
that's
actually
what-
have 2 driveways there
I think
that,
that's what you're questioning me in, is the existing access, which is where I would be too. I really don't see him giving you an access, an additional access, just because of what we've seen.
we kind of thought
But-
that on the property to the west, and they did grant that one.
Yeah. What, planning and zoning commission's concerns?
They were unanimous to recommend it for approval.
Okay.
With no condition.
All right, gentlemen. What,
I don't have any problem, and I don't think you can wait on CDOT to do things. If you do, we'll be here for.
well, I'm not, I'm not saying that we wait on
And they've had
CDOT,
their
but
opportunity to respond. If they don't start responding to things, then they must not have much concern about it. Besides that, those people's property goes right to the middle of, almost goes clear across that one driveway.
Yeah.
So
where's that at?
I
Oh,
don't
I
have
see,
any
yeah,
problem
yeah,
with
yeah.
that. I was more concerned about whether they could actually get a water tap for the property and not put more hauling water on the Mancus water dock. Because it's,
No, there is a pre-existing water tap there.
it's a concern.
I know, but there was a pre-existing.
I thought they had a restriction, or they could impose a restriction on their water dock in Memphis,
Well, they
that they
can,
won't allow.
but that's the whole thing is you're dependent on the town for that water just out in all in the county. And, you know, it's putting a burden on the city doing that. And it's, so,
But we have one, or they have one
And,
for
yeah.
a tap,
Yeah.
yeah, so.
Yeah, I
Okay.
think what Mancus is doing on their water dock is issuing key cards, and it's only to residences within the Mancus, town of Mancus area.
no, there's a bunch of people using it.
Is it wide open?
Yeah, it's open.
They've looked at changing that just for that fact that, so people coming from, you know, this side of Mesa Verde aren't driving to Mancus and getting water from their limited source.
I know they talked about doing that at one time, but I don't think they ever did, Don.
Didn't
'cause
follow through
There's a
on it.
lot of people that live over in Thompson Park, and them, they're hauling water, you know, off of that water dock all the time. So,
Here's the only thing that I'm gonna say is that, I mean, you guys are granting the access. We typically like to see specific driveway accesses to each property, because when you sell this piece of property, hopefully you will do some good vetting of who you sell it to, so that you know what kind of traffic you're gonna deal with, because a lot of times it then becomes a potential problem. And the care for that access, and the gravel on that access, and there's a lot of things to consider with that, just so that you are aware of that. And your neighbors may not turn out to be the very best, because that person could sell it to somebody else 2 years later, and then you have a real problem. And then you don't have, you've already granted access, which then is not, you know, the best of choices. And like I said, if this wasn't on a highway, you know, we really want to see that access on each property by itself, because then there's no frustrations with neighbors.
I'm good. Close the public hearing. Okay. I would so move we approve the proposed two-lot moderate subdivision application submitted by Travis and Casey White on property located at 38645 Highway 160, Mancus.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to accept the proposed two-lot moderate subdivision application submitted by Travis and Casey White on property located at 38645 Highway 160, Mancus, Colorado, consisting of 9.94 acres more or less. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, I'll close this public hearing, and motion carried.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bet.
That's all we got for today.
Okay, we went through all of yours.
We got them all.
All right. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, now we're going to move on to our public comment session. The Montezuma County Commissioners welcomes you to this meeting. Persons speaking during the public comment will be limited to 3 minutes, or depending on the number of people wishing to speak, it may be reduced to allow all members of the public the opportunity to address the board. When addressing the board, please state your name and address for the record prior to providing your comments. Comments to individual supervisors or staff are not permitted, and participants may not yield their time to others. And with that, the public comment session is open.
I'd like to say thank you coming for the Board of County Commissioners today. My name is Jeff Brown. I'm the interim executive director for the Montezuma Heritage Museum at 35 South Chestnut. I'm coming before the Board of County Commissioners to ask for a letter of support for my Region 9 contribution project.
Yeah. Jeff,
Okay, that is down
we've got you scheduled, yeah.
the road on our agenda.
Oh, okay.
So this is just public comment.
Public comment?
So, yeah, we have you on the agenda, so we'll move you down there just a little bit.
Oh, okay. Well then,
Sorry
Are
about
you
that.
okay?
Yeah.
You got it out of the way.
yeah, all right.
All right. Okay, public comment. Anybody? Okay, seeing none, I'll close the public comment session of this meeting, and we're going to move right along to our department reports. First off, we have social services, and we have Miss Montoya. Good to see you back.
Good to be back.
Thank you.
Do you have the one, Melinda, I need to sign?
Couldn't get the 3-minute timer to quit.
All right, you want to take care of the record of proceeding first, gentlemen? Payables?
I would so move we approve the minutes from the regular session of the Board of County Commissioners acting as the Board of Social Services on Tuesday, February 24th, 2023.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to accept the record of proceedings for to Department of Social Services for February 2023. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Financials? Any questions on them?
No. I would so move we accept the financials from the Department of Social Services in the amount of $2,118,428.15.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to accept the payables for the Department of Social Services, Montezuma County, in the amount of $2,118,428.15. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay.
Thank you.
bet.
Unless you wanted some updates, I'm not sure.
Huh?
Please.
Muffins?
We hired a foster care coordinator recruiter, so I'm pleased that we have one on board now. And we also have an opening for an eligibility tech. And so they're going through the applications currently, so hopefully we can fill that vacancy as well. The phone calls were pretty enormous in the month of February, because I talked with the eligibility staff, and they have somewhat become less for this month so far. So the phone calls have come in pretty steady, but they're a lot calmer now. So I'm happy about that. I want to give a shout out to Vicki Schaefer, who's our public information coordinator. She helped us put the notices out about the SNAP reduction and what's going to happen to folks, and phone numbers. That was also posted on our website. Vicki Schaefer did a lot of posters and a lot of information going out to the radio stations and newspapers, etc. So I just want to give her a shout out today. I also want to thank Lori Higgins and Luann Everett, who's our assistant director, and Lori's our finance officer, to keeping the boat afloat, so to speak, while I was out on my surgery. So I want to give them a thank you today as well, because they're very committed workers, and they've been able to help a lot of people out while I was out on my little surgery leave. So thank you, guys. We also have a workshop coming to our staff. It's a mandatory training on Bridges Out of Poverty. I think you've heard of that workshop before, but this is going to be an all-day workshop from 9 to 4 on May 4th. So I just wanted to give you a heads up on that. And there's also a big food drive on April 1st that's going to happen at City Market, so people can bring in food at that, donate food. And the Food Coalition folks from Ancus, Dolores, Wick, will be also participating in that food drive. So I don't know if you've heard about the big food drive that's happening on April 1st at City Market. So please get the word out.
Okay.
We'll do that.
Okay, thank you.
Lori, do you have anything?
She doesn't like me to talk too much. She always says, keep it short and sweet. And I said, sometimes I can't, because I got all these things on my mind.
Okay. Gentlemen, any other questions?
I do not.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
All
right, Thank you.
Have a
thank you.
good day.
You too. All right, next up is our Veteran Services, Mr. LeBeau.
Morning, Frank.
Good morning.
Morning.
Excuse me. All right. We have Veteran Service Monthly Report for February of 2023. On the first page, our report to the Colorado Department of Military and Veterans Affairs was sent up on March 6th, and we had a total of 365 phone calls, 126 appointments, for a total served of 491. Our February 2023 financial report, our permanent salaries was $3,076.92. Our part-time salary was $1,360. Our fringe benefits, $1,457.68. Our operating expenses was $125.06. We had 0 for public outreach, 40 in the telephone, 0 dues for training, for a total expenditures of $6,059.66. Our February 2023 office activities, comparison for 2022, we had 145 in 2022. This year, February, we only had 26, which decreased our total count for February to -19. Total phone calls, 365. We had no outreach events. For a total number of clients assisted, 491. We had 5 new clients. New clients year to date was 8. No nursing home visits. Excuse me. We filed 17 claims. See our highlights for indirect income to the county for February. We had 15 decisions. 12 were favorable, 2 unfavorable, 1 was confirmed and continued. So our new monthly payments, $13,762.59. Our new monthly annual total was $165,151.08. And our new monthly retro payments, $42,734.49. Our next report is going to be very busy. We had a lot of activity. We had a lot of claims that were finalized, and our retro payment basically doubled because there was one huge claim for over $300,000 that we received. Office activity, since Sarah's gone, has doubled. So that's put me a little bit behind on getting claims processed and researched and filed. But I'm working at it and getting them done.
Sounds
That's all I
good.
have.
All right.
I see you recognize Sarah,
I did.
and I appreciate you. And if you see her, and if I see her, I would like to thank her for her service to our veterans and their families.
She did a lot for the veterans and within the county, and volunteering. She's still volunteering from what she's been telling me. So hopefully she continues on to serve the veterans.
You bet.
All right.
Yep. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, Jennifer with public transportation.
Morning.
Good morning.
Might have to switch mics.
Morning.
Morning.
There you go.
So not a whole lot to report. We did 629 rides in February. We've already surpassed that for March. We're at 634, so we've got 3 more days. So we're doing pretty good there. Thank you for getting the admin and operating grant done. I was able to submit January's, and I'll be able to submit February's here pretty soon. But there's not really a whole lot of, we're almost fully staffed. We have 6 drivers now. 7's our usual. So I'm happy with that. We're able to do more rides and not have to, condense our day because we don't have anybody to drive. But that's pretty much all of what we've got going on, unless you guys have any questions.
Did you get your wrapped buses that we talked about
No, but
last time?
they're supposed, well, we haven't got our new bus yet, our new van, but it will be wrapped. They're still negotiating, they're still trying to get things done, so, but hopefully we'll have that this year. And then trying to figure out the logistics to get the other buses wrapped. I'm hoping maybe to get somebody to come down here and just do them all at the same time. I think that would be easier. So, but yeah, we should be getting that one soon, hopefully.
Because I'm still not sure that a lot of people know or understand that we have that service.
I know.
Those
We still
buses
get
are
people
not-
that, yeah,
They're really not marked.
I know.
Um,
Yeah. So, yeah, we really, that's why we put flyers at the medical buildings and wherever we can, because people don't, you're right. They, you know, they call us and they're like, we didn't even know you were here. So, and they don't realize we're public versus just for seniors. Because a lot
Correct.
of them think that's what we are, is for seniors.
No, it's public transportation.
Right. So I'm hoping that new bus will help. And then, like I said, I'm just going to see if I can get them all done at the same time. You know, so, because we have, everything we have is fairly new. So we won't really have to get anything new for a while. So hopefully they'll be able to do that, so.
So do you have any other kind of ideas for outreach to get that out there to the community? I think that not just the seniors, but I think there are a lot of other people that could
Yeah.
utilize it. And knowing that you said now to Farmington once a
We
week?
do Farmington, Dove Creek, and Durango for medical. And then we're working on the RICO logistics too. And I think that's going to work out pretty good. We may only do 1 day a week first. But there are some seniors up there that don't have any way to go for their medical and shopping. And then, but like I said, we do put the flyers out at the medical buildings. We had some at like City Market and Safeway and that kind of thing. I think we need to probably replace those, or if they're not still there.
Have you thought of like a month-long campaign, like PSAs, public service announcements on the radio? Because I think we'll get, I just think we're gonna get a bigger audience to make that more
Right.
usable to a lot of our community, because, I mean, I don't go into City Market a lot, but two, I walk by that board all the time.
Yeah, a lot of
and I
people
never
do.
look at
They
it.
don't
So I
look at
think
it,
most
yeah.
people would do that. I think our outreach needs to be a little bit better. So
I'm thinking maybe we could probably do a mass mailing of some sort.
mailings, I think with radio, you're gonna get a lot more people,
Well,
and
yeah.
it's a lot more cost-effective.
Okay,
if
yeah,
you
I
do
can look
it.
into
So
that
I
too.
mean, maybe look into it. Every time I have a conversation with somebody, they don't know that it even exists.
I know, I talk to people all the
So,
time.
I think we
don't.
could be doing a lot better for our county if we actually get it out there where people know that it exists and that they can utilize it. So that's
Yeah.
all that I have, I think.
Yeah, I mean, if you'll bring some into me, I'll put them out. It's no problem.
Okay, yeah, we can do that, you know, and I'll look into that. I know we, at one point, we're gonna do something with Mesa TV, is that right? Is that
Yeah.
who? And it just never.
Mesa Media and.
Yes, Mesa Media, thank you.
Might
It just
try
never happened.
The
what's the other one?
community network.
Community Network, DCTV.
Oh,
I think it
yeah.
is DCTV.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you do a couple other outreaches like that, I think we'll be more successful.
I agree.
And you're gonna have, your ridership's gonna double.
Okay, yeah, oh,
which is-
yeah.
Which is kind of where, what we'd like to see it do, is the ridership serving this community, so.
Right, and I lost my train of thought. Maybe bring some flyers and some stuff down to the Welcome Center. I never even thought about that one until just now, but,
Yeah, so
Can do
I guess
that.
my ask is just do some more outreach, because I don't think a very small percentage of our community knows that we're public transportation.
right, okay, yeah, I'll
Maybe the
definitely
radio
look into that.
station will do you a PSA.
Okay, yeah, I'll look into those. Radio, yeah, because that, it really is, you know, crazy that people don't realize we're out there still, so, but I'll look into those. So,
Okay,
anything else?
I have nothing else.
No?
That was my big question, is how do we get it out there?
Right, okay, I will
Okay.
look into that.
All right, thank you.
Right. Yep.
All right, we have, Lori Thompson is in a AAA meeting at this point in time, so we're gonna go by that. We'll go into unfinished business, our financial policy discussion we discussed yesterday. We're gonna push it next week. We are also gonna push item number 2 to next week, because it's going to pertain to county property also, not just vehicles. So that will be off. Item number 3, a decision related to the sheriff's office pay scale. That was discussed yesterday in our workshop. There's obviously some more work to be done on that prior to making a decision. And we can go to number 4 as it relates to the opioid investigation distribution grant. So, do you have anything to add to this one, Ian? This was discussed also.
I don't have anything to add. Pretty straightforward.
Gentlemen, any questions?
I don't have any problem.
Okay.
Where are we at? Which one?
Item number 4, decision related to the
Okay,
DCJ.
Travis brought it up. I would so move, we sign the agreement, DCJ opiate investigation and distribution grant of 2023-FD-23-33 in the amount of $178,588.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded to accept the DCJ opioid investigation distribution grant. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Okay, we also have a peace officer grant. Travis, would you pull that up? This is basically for professional services. It was also discussed in our workshop, professional services that we provide for the sheriff's department, as far as, I think it's mostly,
It's equipment, isn't it?
Behavioral health.
behavioral health.
health.
That's the
Counseling.
term I was looking for.
There we go.
Yeah. So, anything else?
No.
I move we sign the Montezuma County Sheriff Peace Officer Counseling Support Grant number 23-536 in the amount of $25,000 for the years 2023 through 2024.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded to accept the Montezuma County Sheriff's Peace Officer Counseling Support Grant number 23-536 in the amount of $25,000. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, we're down to the Energy Impact Grant. You want to pull this one up, Travis? If you have it.
Okay, Dobry.
Okay, so just a brief description on this one, and it was also discussed yesterday in our workshop. This is the impact grant that we are requesting so that we can put solar on our fairgrounds main building and the warehouse or shop building that's to the south. This solar array will provide power to both of those, and to the tune of almost 300 panels to supply both of those units. Anything else would you guys like to add to that?
No.
So
I don't have
again, this
anything.
is a grant through DOLA. Don't know if we'll get it or if we don't, but this is a grant to put the power on those two buildings.
Okay, I think I've got the numbers here. Tier funding. Anyway, I so move we sign the application for the Energy Impact Grant Fiscal Year 2023, Cycle 23-07 EIAF Tier 1, Tier 2 funding application. It's in the amount of $302,788 for the main building, $115,033 for the shop. Total amount, if my figures are right, there's $417,811.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded to sign the related energy impact grants for the fairgrounds in the amount of $417,811. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, now we have a discussion on the Heritage Museum lease. Ian, I'll let you take this one because we had some cleanup on this, and come on down. I'll get you here.
Yeah, and so, Mr. Brown and I weren't able to connect since last week pertaining to this lease. I tried to call over yesterday and didn't get through. But basically, this is just a new lease agreement for the Heritage Museum building. It's the same terms as the last lease. The only changes are that, per the commission's instructions, you guys asked for just a 5-year term. And I think the idea was with one 5-year term, then it wouldn't bind future commissions. I think on the previous lease, there was an option to extend a couple times, but this will just be one 5-year lease. And then the only other change was, I think that there was a maximum amount that you guys would pay on utilities, and then after that, we would kick in. At this point, you guys will be responsible for all your utilities. So those are the only changes, and it's before you guys for signature, and then I'll get with Jeff if you guys decide to sign it, and we can get a signature from the Heritage Museum.
All right,
Sounds good.
that'll work.
Okay.
Yeah. Aye. No problem.
You wanna-
I move to sign this lease agreement between Montezuma County and the Historical Society at 35 South Chestnut Street.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded to sign the Historical Museum lease. As stated by our attorney, it's a 5-year lease, and that way we don't bind anybody else. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, and since you are here, we're gonna jump all the way down to new business, and I'll let you talk about your letter of support. I'll get you done and out of here all at one time.
All right, nice. So part of the thing that I wanted to do with the museum is make it more sustainable in the future. And by going after this Region 9, it's called an Enterprise Contribution Project. Any individual can donate up to $250 at a time for tax credits. And that fund would then go to the museum and focus on the education aspect of the museum. So educational outreach, building of new exhibits, and maybe doing guided tours of different farms and different history within the county. So that's the goal of this funding. It also would allow us to maybe increase employment as part of this region. It's part of this grant. So there would be 3 jobs created. Mine, the curator, and possible janitor. So this would be a generator of employment as well. And the application is complete. I am trying to get one from the city as well to try and get broad-based support. I'm just waiting a call back from them.
So you just need a letter of support from us? Is that?
Yes, sir.
And that's what's in front of us right now.
Okay,
Got it?
okay, yeah. I would so move we sign the letter of support for the Museum Heritage Center with Region 9, directed to Region 9 Board of Directors and the Colorado Office of Economic Development.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to sign the LOS letter of support in favor of the Montezuma Heritage Museum for their grant application. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Thanks. Thank you. Would, do I come back later to pick that up, or?
Once she gets it scanned into the records, she can either email it to you, or you can come back and get a copy of it over at the clerk's office.
At the clerk's?
Yeah.
Okay.
She has to scan everything, get it into the records so that it's, when we
Official.
approve our minutes for next week, all of that is in the record.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Yep. Thank you. Okay, moving back into unfinished business, we had a decision related to the dispatch intergovernmental agreement. This was also presented to us yesterday in our workshop. We did have a couple of questions that we were gonna get clarified as far as, it did stay to a one-year agreement. And then the other question was, as far as the facility, the E911 board was to keep, or the E911 board is the proprietor of all of the equipment in the dispatch center.
That's correct. The way, yeah.
All right, so this will be moved to next week also. All right, then we have a discussion of the signing of the racetrack lease. I think this one is ready to go. I don't think we have anything else that we need to talk about or discuss with this one.
No, I don't think so. This is pretty much the same lease as last year with the addition of a cost for the water dock. So the track promoter is going to pay money to the county for use of that water there. It's also 1 month shorter than it was last year because the promoter may be out of town in the month of September. And so it goes through the end of August.
Okay. Do you have that?
Did it come from Robert Dobry?
No.
It was in the,
I think I got that.
it was in the packets.
We can still take action on it, and I can sign it.
Mine left out of the pile.
I can sign it after the fact. Oh, there it is.
You guys okay?
Yeah.
I move to sign this lease agreement between Montezuma County and Julian Garcia as a tenant for the Montezuma County racetrack at the fairgrounds.
Second.
Okay, it's moved and seconded to enter into a lease agreement between Montezuma County and Julian Garcia for the Fairgrounds Racetrack. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. And then we also have a discussion as it related to the Carver Field, which we again discussed this in our workshop yesterday. Basically compliant, sending this back to CDPHE. And that's pretty much it in a nutshell. Do you want to add anything to that, Ian?
Not really. This is just a yearly document that CDPHE will send out just to ensure that we're in compliance with the restrictive covenants on the Carver landfill property and the Cortez Sanitation District property that we acquired. And so Mel indicated, yes, Mel Jarman, the dump superintendent, indicated yesterday that there's no issues and we're in compliance. And so that's all it is.
Okay,
All righty.
on the back.
I'm back.
On the back.
There we go.
No, that's the,
You got it all messed up.
I'll just sign it.
Oh, well, we need a motion, don't we?
That one we already did. That's the
We-
racetrack.
Oh, we're talking CDPHE.
I'm still handing you papers. Do you have CDPHE's contract?
I don't know.
No, this is the,
Was that one in the
this is the
picture you gave?
hospital.
Got it up.
And I'm not attached to any printer.
Did that go out in the packet?
We can use it off of here.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Want me to go print it?
I think you guys,
We
I
can
would suggest
approve
that you
it.
take action and then we'll
We can
get a
approve it. I
copy.
can sign it after the fact.
I would so move, we sign the contract between the Colorado Environmental, CDPHE, covenant number RSN OT 00112 for the Carver landfill.
And this is actually not, a contract.
Well, it's
All
a
it is
control
it's a
document.
certification form.
Certification form?
Yeah.
And rather than contract.
Second.
That's what I get for winging it.
So it's been moved and seconded to sign the certification form and submit to CDPHE, Colorado Department of Public Health and Environment, as it relates to the Carver landfill, for our landfill. All those in favor?
And Commissioner, just for the record, I would just add that we're certifying that all of the restrictive covenants we're in compliance with.
And that
That's
all
part
of the restrictive covenants have been complied with in the
Yep.
reporting year of 2023.
Yeah, that was my motion.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right. Okay, Jerry is here. We have a special event permit for the NRA, National Rifle Association. Ms. Frizzell.
My name's Jerry Frizzell from Montezuma County Clerk and Recorders, doing a special event permit for National Rifle Association of America for Montezuma Fairgrounds, 30100 US Highway 160, Cortez, Colorado. And it's for April 29th, 2023, from 5 p.m. to 11 p.m. I also have the letter from the Sheriff's Office showing that he has received the below list liquor license requested for the event scheduled to be held at Montezuma County for the National Rifle Association.
All right. Very good, thank you. This one, just the letter. Okay. All right, any questions, gentlemen?
I don't have any.
Okay. Oh, this one,
Yeah.
this is the next one.
You guys got to get your paper shuffled. I so move the approval of application for a special events permit for the National Rifle Association of America to be held at 12360 Highway 491 Cortez.
No,
Second.
it's to be held at the fairgrounds, the 3011.
Being,
Oh, yeah.
The address for the place for the
Okay.
special events is the 30100
Not
US.
my day. We'll reverse that. It's to be held at the Montezuma County Fairgrounds, 30100 Highway 160 Cortez.
Second.
Quit.
okay, it's been moved and seconded to sign the special events application permit for the National Rifle Association taking place at the Montezuma County Fairgrounds, 30100 Highway 160 Cortez, Colorado. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, and now we have another, which came in front of us last week for the community connection, so.
Yes, for Community Connections to be held May 5th, 2023, from 6 p.m. to 10:30 p.m. at the fairgrounds at 30100 US 160 Cortez. We was waiting for the letter from the sheriff, and he has received the below listed liquor license request for the event scheduled to be held at the Montezuma County Fairgrounds for Community Connections.
I move to approve this application for a special event permit for malt liquor at the Montezuma County Fairgrounds for Community Connections at 30100 US 160 Cortez, Colorado.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded to accept the application of the special events permit for community connections being held at 30100 US Highway 160, Cortez, Colorado. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And then I just have a liquor license that you guys have already approved that just needs to be signed by the,
Okay. And this one will be for the brew pub? All right, anything else? Okay, all right, very good. Thank you, Jerry. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Jerry.
All right, moving right along, natural resources, Mr. Dietrich, come on down. We haven't seen you for a while. Good to see you.
Got a dead one there. Morning, everyone.
Morning.
The first thing I've got is a letter of support for the ER Lamb Building, and this is being submitted by Linda Toll. And what they're asking for is to prepare some architectural drawings for that building. And this grant request would go to History Colorado, and it is really about trying to preserve that building in the state that it's in.
Do you guys have any questions?
What is the ER Lamb Building?
It's the Cortez Cultural Center.
Right over
Okay.
here on
Okay.
Okay.
First Street or Market Street?
Market.
Market. Market and First, right? Or no, North. Market and North.
I had to ask the same question because I thought the Lamb Building was down there at N.M.P.M. So anyway,
Well, there is a land building down there.
yeah, there is, yeah.
There's a lamb building out at the fairgrounds, too.
Well, that's right, yeah, there sure is. We got to make sure which land we're talking about.
Yeah, that's
I
right.
guess.
So this is the building that sits right here in the city of Cortez, the Cultural Center.
Yes, sir, that is.
More people relate it to as the Cortez Cultural Center.
Yeah, that's correct, yes.
Okay.
I would so move we signed a letter of support for the Cortez Cultural Center to prepare an architectural drawing for the ER Lamb Building.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded to sign the letter of support as it relates to the Cortez Cultural Center in regards to the ER Land Building. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you, gentlemen. Also wanted to let the commissioners know that I attended a CWPP meeting last Saturday with the Cedar Mesa community that was held at the Mancus Library. We had about 20 people that were in attendance on that. What they're really trying to do is really kind of get themselves prepared for this coming season to continue doing, mitigation work, defensive space type work. One of the things that they brought up was the notion of having some free delivery to the, I shouldn't say delivery, but the reception out at the landfill for some of the slash. And I know in the past that we've had, like, for example, a month or something like that where we bring in the slash. But I think there was some confusion within that group. They thought that perhaps that, we could deliver that stuff for free down there. I don't think that's the case unless the commissioners decide that there's a month or a day or something along those lines. So we'll try to keep that communication open to them. If the commissioners establish a day like that, we'll just make sure that that information gets out to them and the public.
So I want to say that we, a few months ago, probably before
Yeah.
the end of the year, when Mel came in and presented to us, that we will take the slash, if
Okay.
it's strictly just carbon stock
Yeah.
Okay.
slash, because he's going to also use it as he gets the shredder in to get that shred, use it for the carbon stock for the composting. And I want to say that we did approve that at that time to
Okay.
have
Yeah,
no
it's
charge
It's ongoing.
for that
Okay.
slash.
Okay, that sounds good. Well,
They're
I'll
not-
talk to Mel about that, make sure I've got my head around
Yep.
it, and make sure we get the right information communicated to the right people out there.
Yep. As long as it was the carbon stock, now it's not trash, but.
Yeah, yeah, I'm thinking couches, refrigerators,
Yeah,
probably
no,
not so
It has
much,
to be
but-
slash.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, all right, well, I'll relate that information to them. I was, encouraged that they're really on top of it this year. They're aware that, we're probably gonna have a flush of cheatgrass. We've got a lot of branches that are on the ground now because of the heavy snow, so they were on top of it and aware of it. The one thing that I would say that they'll probably come back to visit with us about is it's really on their mind is that additional exit route, which we have no proposals on the table for that. That's gonna take some work within that community, and of course, I'll be able to provide whatever help I can on that. But that's on their mind.
As far as,
An emergency evacuation route, they're always worried about having a secondary access route out of that subdivision. And even though we've got one on the west side, I think they're really kind of interested in something that comes out from the east. And again, there's no proposals on the table for that, and that's going to be ongoing negotiation with their neighboring landowner there.
correct, because that goes
So-
across private property to go to the east.
That's
correct?
right,
That's
yeah.
the way I understood it. There's, just a poor development without two means of egress.
Yeah, I mean, and everybody would probably reasonably say, well, it'd be nice to have a secondary access route. So as the community works on that, I'm just anticipating they'll probably be bringing something back to the commissioners at some point.
Did they established all of their safe zones though, correct?
That's right. They did establish safe zones, and actually, I went out there yesterday with Doug and Nolan, and we took a look at the safe zones. My understanding was there was a large pile of slash in the safe zone, but that does not appear to be the case. So apparently they're hauling slash off individually. We didn't see any large piles of slash out there anywhere. So, this would be a great time to burn it if they had some. But
Sure.
so, yeah, I think the community seems to be doing pretty good, and they seem to be really motivating themselves within that community to really kind of take care of some things up there. So.
And I understand that a second means of egress is obviously and should have been done in the beginning. It wasn't, but the mitigation measures that they're taking are gonna save a lot of their properties if something does happen.
Yeah, that's
And-
correct, yes.
And they did establish, I know the big safe zone was on the southeast corner that they talked about. Did they get the other one on the
I didn't see the other one, so I'm
kind
not
of
saying it
midway
wasn't
on
there.
the east side?
Yeah, the one we saw was on the southeast side, and that's the only one that we were able to identify.
Okay.
It could be that some of the signs are buried with the snow and everything, and there was some discussion about why those signs were set so low. The purpose for that is that when you're in the middle of a fire event, that smoke will rise a little bit up above headlight level, and those signs were designed so they'd be visible, in a vehicle by headlights, and especially in the event of some kind of a wildfire or something along those lines. So, right now the snow's been deep enough up there that it's hard to see some of those signs. But, hopefully we'll, in the middle of the summer that will not be the case, and so hopefully the signs will be effective at that time. Overall, I think they're doing a really good job up there, and it was really good to see the kind of level of support that community has, and they're really thinking about things.
Good.
Also wanted to let the commissioners know that I've been working on the Transportation Alternatives Grant, and that would be focused on the east side of the Pass to Mesa Verde, on the Mancos side. And the objective of this grant is really to help us work through some of the design alternatives that came up right at the Highway 160, 160B intersection. And as you know, the slope on the south side of the highway there is very, very steep. And so the objective is to really try to keep that trail up on the highway bench and just do some adjustment of the highway striping in that area. so that we accommodate the trail as well as some guardrail, and try to alleviate the need for, excessive amount of retaining wall and stuff there that would be pretty costly. And of course, I've brought this to the commissioners before, and I think Robert has also mentioned this. So I have submitted a draft of our grant application, and it will be due on April 28th. So at this point, we've got a draft in. That's kind of the placeholder. The one thing we really need to work through is all the cost estimates, and so I'll be in touch with CFL and the design team on that so that we can pull together good cost estimates. I've got good round numbers, but as this moves through the engineering department, they want to account for every grain of gravel out there, basically. That is working with the engineers. So anyway, we'll accomplish that and make sure that they have a good estimate that they can review.
Okay.
Then we also wanted to let the commissioners know we've got a couple of federal actions that are in place right now. The first one is we're in an objection period for the Dolores Recreation Access and Infrastructure Improvement Project. And what this project does is it expands a parking area and it constructs 3 additional parking areas. Installs 2 bathrooms and reroutes approximately 3.3 miles of unmotorized trail, and constructs approximately 4,400 feet of new unmotorized trail. It's got a redesignation of approximately 11.4 miles of existing off-highway vehicle trail to permit vehicles up to 62 inches in width. So this has already gone through the scoping, and it's got a FONSI in place, a finding of no significant impact. We're currently in the objection period. I didn't see anything that we had to object on this unless the commissioners are aware of anything.
Where is it, Jim?
This is up in the Boggy Draw Trail System, the Transfer Horse Campground Horse Corral, and Forest Service Road 385.
I already thought they were at 62 inches, but apparently they're a little wider now.
Apparently they're widening it up to
They're
62
widening it out
inches.
so the side-by-sides can go on.
Side by side.
Part of the Aspen Loop Trail deal. They're widening that out, and they're changing some of the bicycle routes in that area behind Joe Moore up there. Some of it I don't know, when they put it in there, it didn't work out like they thought or something. Anyway, they're changing some of the trails around for the bicycle trails too. But they are are they still putting a parking lot on?
That's my understanding, yeah. It says one
Bathrooms, parking lots.
expansion.
They're expanding it and adding.
We can add all kinds of stuff except fix the road.
I'll guarantee you what, they put that parking lot up there on that Chicken Creek Road, they're gonna be in here bugging us to death to plow that road all the way to that parking lot all winter. And you're talking about 3 miles?
We park it to the corner.
No.
We plow just around the corner though, right?
No.
We don't go into the.
Well, that's the other
We
road.
don't go into the parking lot.
That's the Millwood Road.
Yeah.
Okay. The Chicken Creek Road, we just plow up to Wallace's property at the
Yep.
end of that subdivision
That's
right
where
now.
we just
It's
shortened
almost
it.
3 miles up there where they're building this parking lot.
Which is right at the corner of Wallace's, correct?
Well,
Way I
it's past
understood
that.
it? Oh, okay.
Wallace's corner goes down around like that, and it's about a half a mile up there yet.
Basically to the gate.
Yeah. Well, where it makes that 90-degree
Yeah.
turn to the right.
Okay.
Okay, well, I guess we haven't got any clear objections then, I think, at this point. Okay, sounds good. Do want to let the commissioners know that there's another proposed project, and what this is a targeted grazing project. And the objective of this will happen up there right around House Creek. It's in between House Creek and Beaver Creek. It's on about 980 acres of ground that was previously in a prescribed burn area. So the objective is to bring in between 600 and 1,200 adult goats to browse oak brush. And so anyway, I think this is kind of an experimental program here. I did not see any, we're in the scoping phase on this, so nothing to object to or anything along those lines at this point. But it would make a note that the Dolores Norwood Road would be the access road, and then there would be a full-time herder on site, supposedly to push the goats around. They'd trail them down to and from water daily, and they would also use an electric fence to contain the goats within the prescribed area. So, and again, this is scoping. If we think of anything in the future that we have any concerns about, why we can address that.
I know that they're using goats for a lot of that type of mitigation. I guess it's working pretty well. I mean, I don't know where 1,200 goats are gonna come from, but
That's
I
my
guess.
question. Where are they gonna get 1,200 goats?
Well, it was my
guess
question
not-
too.
Not our decision to make.
Don't elaborate on that. But, apparently somebody has that many goats and they've proposed this project.
Yeah. Whose permit is that?
Oh, you know, Gerald, I couldn't tell you off the top of my head whose permit we're on up there. I can find that and, relay that information on to you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Good thing we haven't introduced any wolves yet.
Well, I guess well,
Good thing we haven't introduced any wolves yet.
Well, it might be pretty tempting for a wolf, I would say. But anyway, and again, that's just a project that's in scoping. I think if we have anything else that comes up, anything we can think of that we need to raise as an issue, we have time to do that. This, by the way, just came out yesterday, so I've, we should have, I think we have 60 days on this. And then they are asking for a Category X exclusion from NEPA on this. So it will be kind of a truncated process once we get going through it.
and that's specifically to address the oak,
Yeah, specifically for the oak brush.
but they're gonna eat anything and everything.
Well, they also mentioned that it would, they'll
They
eat
will, but
invasive
they
species and
mainly
stuff
will
like
eat
that.
oak brush, and they will eat it.
Oh, yeah.
They will eat it, like,
Well,
on
it
that
needs it.
place of, where the water tower, they're wanting to put the new water tank in Mancus. That guy, that Anderson, put those goats in that place, and they pretty much ate the oak brush up as high as they could reach. Of course, all the big stuff, but they pretty well.
Yeah, like
mean,
I
they
said,
control it.
from what I've heard and read, they're pretty effective. They're very effective with that type of mitigation work.
Well, it'll be interesting to see how this turns out.
Yeah.
Maybe they're onto something, and again, if it's in targeted areas, well, we've probably got.
This has been proposed several different times before.
Okay.
They proposed some of this out by Dove Creek and in those permits off towards the Dolores River Canyon there and that oak brush stuff there and stuff, but there never has really been a big group of them like that, I don't think, doing it, but
Good,
see how it works out, I guess, if
Yeah.
it's.
Yeah.
interesting. All right.
Okay. Also wanted to let commissioners know we're continuing to work on the outdoor recreation grant. Our consultant is currently going through the inventory of all of our recreation assets. He's working on road counts, trying to pull together, counts from the lodger's tax, any of the data sources that we're able to push towards him at this point. Trying to understand what some of the trends are, seasonality, things of that nature. So anyway, that is in full speed at this point. I have requested a quote for the purchase of that TrafX counting system, which I believe I told the commissioners about the last time. When we get a decent quote on that, then I'll bring that back and we'll review that and see if that's something we want to proceed with. Then the last thing is we have the IHOP planning grant. We're, of course, in full swing on that. Next week, we will be set up to be doing community workshops. So that will be running Monday through Wednesday. And Tuesday will be the day that we're going to focus on working within the county planning department. And we'll have an opportunity to visit with the consultants on that. And then later on in that day, we'll reconvene and bring all the other respective planning departments back in from both, all three municipalities, Cortez, Dolores, and Mancus. So anyway, for the first part of next week, it'll be a pretty busy week, I think.
Okay.
So I guess that concludes my report, unless there's anything else the commissioners have for me that we need to. of course, we're working on the sage grouse and the big game corridors and all that. And I'm continuing to work with Steve Garcher in particular on that. And then next week, I will also try to set up a time to visit with the Rangeland Stewardship Committee to see if they have any input on, especially on the sage grouse and the big game corridors. And those are the ones that we're having a harder time to get our heads around, I think. We've worked a little bit with Drew Gordonier, and I've talked with Jared a little bit about this, but on the request for the 10J rule for the wolf reintroduction. And that'll be something we do get our request in for that. And hopefully there's some other activity afoot that will be beneficial for that process here. I think that there's potentially maybe a lawsuit that's afoot, and hoping to get the full NEPA analysis on those wolves before they're released also.
Okay.
I covered that pretty good, Gerald. Anything else?
Yeah, actually the main group up there that was really pushing the lawsuit to make them do a full NEPA analysis before they could reintroduce those was actually the oil and gas companies, which kind of surprised me.
That is a little surprising.
But that's who was really pushing the fact that they wanted a full NEPA environmental assessment before they did this, and they were going to court. They're going to take it to court. They're going to push it, according to them. They were going to push it to the limit as far as making them do this, because they, and the guy basically told me, he said, they make us do this on everything we do. They should do it too, because they're affecting the environment here just as much as we are, and they need to go through their own process just like we had to. And they were really pushing the fact that they needed to go through the whole NEPA process, not take a shortcut. So I don't know how it'll turn out, but they were the ones mainly pushing that.
Okay.
And I might mention too, it sounds like Congresswoman Bober is trying to get the wolf delisted also, and it sounded like U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service is pushing back pretty hard on that. Even though apparently they had authored a report that kind of led us all to believe that perhaps they're in a point where it could be delisted. Again, I have no more information on that other than what I just got by email from Bobert's office. So. Other than that, I think that's it for me today.
All right. Okay, thank you, James.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Appreciate it. Okay, County Attorney's report, Mr. McLaren.
I actually don't have anything to report this week. All of our cases are in a holding pattern, and that's where we're at.
Okay, very good. Mr. Anderson.
Met with Laura Struther of Colorado Department of Human Services this week in relationship to Gina's position. They're on board to assist us in any manner possible. Provided questions and directions. Obviously, that's a pretty important position to fill, so we want to get the right person. Commissioner Candelaria and I met with Montezuma Water and Road and Bridge. I think we've come up with a solution as it relates to the membership fees, and I'll let the commissioner expound on that if he wants to. Going to be meeting with San Juan AAA, met with them last week, and going to be probably meeting with them again this afternoon related to the senior center. See what we've got to do to get up to par with that department. Met with Patrick Rondinelli. You gentlemen will probably be getting again a little packet from him to fill out as it relates to the strategic planning process. I filled mine out, and so we're just trying to come up with dates. Lastly, and if Jessica wants to come down, I got a special guest. We're working on doing a flea market at the fairgrounds, and Jessica has really worked hard on this so that we can make that a little bit more usable out there. And so, Jessica, do you want to expound on this more? Am I doing okay?
You're doing great.
All
Yeah,
right.
go ahead.
So what we're wanting to do is get the commissioner's permission for a grand opening on the May 7th. We're going to charge a fee for, obviously, the rentals of tables if need be, $20 for the space. And, you know, the first year it might be kind of bumpy, but we're going to see what we can do to make that a little bit more viable, get the community out there, vendors, and hopefully it'll be successful.
Yep, the one thing that I would like to just comment is we are going to do it on Sundays, and the reason for that is we don't want to compete with any of the brick and mortar businesses here in town, and we don't want to compete with the farmers market. So that's the one or the two arguments that we have to complete it on a Sunday, which isn't necessarily the most ideal day, but we're going to give it a shot and see how it goes, and if it doesn't, then we can reevaluate and try Saturday again another time. So I just asked Travis to present this so we can start distributing it. I want to try to talk to some of the vendors at the ag show this weekend and start passing it around so we can have a good turnout and hopefully get some good participation out there. People bring their goods, bring things that they made or things that they need to get cleaned up out of their yard, whatever the case may be. And I'm working with Justin right now to secure some funding so we can get some new picnic tables and a tent out there so people have a nice place to gather in the shade so they're not beaten down in the sun. But hopefully it'll turn out to be a pretty fun event for the families and people in the community to come enjoy on a Sunday.
And that's through the Lore Foundation, correct, that we're trying to get some of this additional funding?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I noticed the one in Shiprock has moved. It got so big that they couldn't have it at that intersection down there. So they moved it.
Okay.
Yeah, they moved it south.
Well, good.
Yeah.
You know, it's just another way of trying to promote something for the community, and we have a lot of space out there, and it, just through the summertime, basically starting in May.
Mm-hmm. It'll just be May through September right now.
You know, I can
or
remember
August.
when the city started this party in the park once a month, and they did it on Thursday night, and it didn't seem like it was a whole lot, but gosh, you go there now, and it is packed, and it's packed from the minute they start to the minute they
Yeah.
finish, so.
No early birds.
I'm not waking up before 6 a.m.
So, anyway, I think it's worth a shot. Try
Thank
it.
you.
If it doesn't work, we'll change it and move
Yeah.
on from there.
3 strikes, right, Commissioner?
Yeah.
All right, guys. Thank you.
All right.
Thank
you,
Thanks,
Jessica.
Jessica. All right, is that it, Travis?
That is it.
Okay. Commissioner Copenafer.
I don't have a whole lot to report this week. I got quite a bit going on the rest of the week. I've got some legislative things to do with Southwest on Thursday, a meeting all day Friday for a water from Southwest education meeting. Other than that, just some phone calls here over the weekend and stuff concerning the roads and stuff, but most of it was all pretty much positive, so that's good.
Yeah, I want to thank Bonnie from Weed Department and Brandon Johnson from MVI and also the sheriff's deputies that were out on last Wednesday. I was out also looking at roads and calling in to Rob and letting him know where water was and all this kind of stuff. A lot of people were calling, letting us know, and we sure appreciate those eyes out there. Because until we find it or somebody lets us know, something might happen. And we didn't lose any more roads, so that was a pretty positive day. We came close, but road crews did a really good job. And also wanted to remind everybody that the Home and Garden Show is this coming weekend, so hope to see you all out there. I think the Republicans have a booth out there that they're gonna have, so we'll be wandering around out there.
All right. Okay. Thank you. As Travis mentioned, we had a discussion for membership fees. That's in the attorney's hands now, so more to follow with that as it works with Montezuma Water Company for our static line supply for the fairgrounds and the suppression system. I had a pretty much all-day planning meeting with the Montezuma County Housing Authority Saturday. A lot of great discussion in there as far as how we're going to move forward with the orphan lots that we own as far as Montezuma County Housing Authority, and then the proposed projects that we're going to move forward with next now that the Calkins Common is complete. We have an architect coming to talk to us, and it sounds like we'll probably move forward with a proposal on the property that we own off of East Montezuma. We have about 8 acres over there. We kind of have it divided up into 16 single-family residents, and then we're going to try and do 48 multi-housing residents within that property right there, and it's just kind of north of Safeway. So, again, it's all in the planning stages. Like I said, we have an architect coming over to talk to us to see what we can and cannot do in that area. We had our workshop yesterday. We had our district court update with Judge Plu and Eric Hogue, basically to open up a dialogue of the facilities, how we're doing on the facilities, and another big shout out to our building and maintenance crew for the job that they've been doing over there to help those guys out. We also had a proposal on a project funding amendment or agreement with Southwest Health Systems. We had Attorney Lovett in here giving us a proposal. You can view that online if you'd like to see what went on there. And that's obviously no action was taken on that at all. We discussed our intergovernmental agreement on our dispatch center. We talked about that a little bit today. That's in our attorney's hands, and that'll be coming before us soon. At the Dolores meeting last night, it was actually probably one of the shortest Dolores meetings I've ever been to. About an hour and a half last night, and it was short and sweet. Had some of their members not there, but they did have a quorum. And they did, apparently, it sounds like the Dolores Community Center did get their insurance, so they're still open, they're alive and well, but they're still having a conversation with the town of Dolores to see if they'll be able to take it over anytime soon. And I believe, for me, that's all that I have to report. So,
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
okay, it's been moved and seconded to adjourn this March 28th BOCC meeting. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye.